You are welcome to Make Them Tech. Today we want to look at how to build a Node.js web CRUD application using VanillaJS. VanillaJS means pure JavaScript, no framework on the client side. This time around we're not talking about no framework on the server side. We are still going to make use of our normal framework for server side, but for the client side we are not going to use React, we are not going to use Vue, we are not going to use Angular, and still we are going to use our client side rendering technology. But this time around is going to be vanilla based. We are just going to do our thing using JavaScript. Our server side technology, we are going to use our Express framework. We are going to use our body parser middleware. Then we are going to use LoadDB as our database. We just want to do something small just to make us understand how to build a Node.js web CRUD application using VanillaJS. So let's continue. So let's open let's open a folder. Let's call it web CRUD app. Okay, let's call it web CRUD app. Okay, let's open this folder with brackets. Yes, so let's create our package.json file. Package.json. Then let's create our other files, our index.js file. Then let's create our public folder. As a Node.js developer, you must be familiar with all these things. Then our index.html. Okay, so now our package.json, let's like on the expressjs.com, let's copy this. Okay, our application name web CRUD app. This is index.html. That's where our express, our server is going to, our server code, that's where it's going to be. Let's download the latest. Then we need LoadDB. So then node npm install. So this is the name of our application, web CRUD app, version 0.0.1. So these are our dependencies: body parser, express, LoadDB. So now we have downloaded what we need. Is inside node modules. You can see it here, you can see them here. So now let's go to our index.html. Web CRUD app. Yes, we need a post area, or a form area rather. Form area. So what we want to build is actually an application whereby we can create an information or a data and send it to the server, and then the server too will save it inside a database. Then we can also make a request to the server to get the content of what has been saved. Then we can also update the data inside our database, and we can also delete. So that's what we want to build, and that is the CRUD application. So the C stands for create, the R stands for read, the U stands for update, and the D stands for delete. So we want to create the interface now, the user interface. That is new post. So let's put a form element here. Okay, I think all this should be like this. Input type text and placeholder. And that is let's say topic. Then the next one is our text area, then placeholder. Let's call that one contents. This is good. Then our button, so our button to add the information, that is a button. Then let's put add. Then we need a place to display what is going on, like a status, like sending, the information is sending. Okay, so then we need a demarcation. So then this is where our post will be displayed. Post. So that's it. Now let's go to index.js. I want to load our express. Require, that is express. So our body parser require body parser, then app express. Okay, then our database, we want to copy something from the read main inside loaddb. Yes, this is the setup, the configuration, and then okay, so let's configure our middleware. our middlewares. We have our express dot static directory name plus body parser. So let's load our index.html file, and this means that we need to load all the static files inside our public folder. So our HTML file, our CSS, all these files are static files. So that is why we are using express.static to load them. Then body parser.json is used to pass the JSON data that is going to be received from the client side. So we're going to be sending JSON data from the client to the server, and body parser here will help us to pass the data. Then we can now work on the data, send it to the database, do whatever we want to do with it. So now let's load our index.html file. So we don't need to put public here, it has been loaded already. So we just need to load this one straight, and that's all. I think that's all for now. Okay, yes, our application needs to listen on a particular port, and let's use 3100. Console.log server listening on port 3100. So now let's run our application. Node index. Okay, there's an error here. Okay, so node index, yes. Okay, let's launch our Chrome browser. Let's put 3100 here. So this is what I have. Let's style it, or rather let's make it look good. Okay, then this one, style. And then height, let's say 10px. Okay, let's see. Okay, yes. So I want to write some JavaScript code on the client side. Let our form is go to documents dot query selector, that is form. Then the next one is the topic. Topic is document dot query selector, that is input. Then this one is text area, so that will be the content. Then what else? Okay, our status. Okay, that one is span. So let's call it status. And our what else do we need? Okay, I think this is okay for now. So okay, so now let's try to send an information to the server. So we're going to be using fetch API. Okay, let's just do function add. So when this function runs, we want this message to be displayed. And fetch. So and fetch, let's use add. So our method is post. Then our headers, it's not header, it's not header, it's headers. Content type. Sorry. So that is a content type is JSON. Application stroke JSON. Yes, body JSON dot stringify. So that is topic dot value content dot value. Yeah, so that's what we have. So then, so what this code does is to convert what we are sending to the server to a JSON data. Let's continue. Then that will be res. So that's res.json. So this code resolves what to a JSON data. And another one then okay, console console.log data. So then let's catch any error that comes our way. So that will be okay. Let's try and put that one inside our status as error. So now with this, we need to send it form.add event listener, submit this function. So let's prevent default. Then I will call our function here, add. So let's create an API that is add on the server. So we need to handle the post request. So this is how we're going to handle the post request. Add. So that is rec press console.log rec.body. So okay, let's restart our server, node index. So now script Node.js. I think we are okay now. Okay, let's remove this sending. Yes, JavaScript is cool. Cannot read property. Okay, let's defer this must load last. Okay, so now okay, so JS JavaScript is cool. Wow, that's good. So you can see it here. So we sent this data from the client and it has gotten to the server, and look at our code there, console.log req.body. So we have console.logged the information from the client here. So with this we are good to go. So let's try to see how we can save our information into our database. So how do we do that? Then the next thing to do is to that will be db.get posts dot push then we need to send JSON back to the client. So we can use my DB. So let's just okay, DB get post value. So that's what we have. So then this will be saved into our database. Our database is still empty, so let's try to do that now. Okay, node index. Okay, let's relaunch, let's refresh our application and just type table. So now we can see yes, then our database, whoa, now the information has been saved into our database. So we need to do something now. Yes, the information sent back from the server is what we have here. Yes, so we console.log the information sent from the server, which is also what we saved into our database. So let's proceed. So the next line of action is to see how we can fetch information from the server. So but before that, let's try and create an API that gathers the content of our database and send it to the client. So what the client needs to do is just to communicate with the API and get what is sending. So that will be app dot get, okay, let's call it serve. So that is res res. So that will be res.json. So let's call it my db. So it will be db.get post posts value. That's all. So now here we need to bring in the MVC or MVVM pattern. So like we need a model that will handle our JSON from the server. Then we need a view, or let me say we need a kind of view technology that will update our user interface. So I'm just going to do that now. So the idea here is to get a model that will handle JSON file or JSON data, then we'll communicate our view, supply that data to the view, then the view itself will update our user interface with the information, with the data provided. So let's get on board. So I'm going to write some codes now. That will be function, let me call it model. So what will our model do? Our model is going to fetch from serve, that's the API. So then, okay, let me do something. So this is then, so this is res res.json. Okay, so let me put a variable here, model data. Let's set it to null, so that is okay. Then so let's put my JSON. So let's assign it to this my JSON dot my db. Yeah, so that's all. So let's catch any error that wants to tamper with our code. So that's status dot text content is equal to. Okay, so then we need to create a view function, also view. So we're going to do like this. Let I equal to, so our model data, so we want to length -1, I greater or equal to 0, then I minus. So yes, we want our information, our post to be displayed here. So let's put that up here as post is equal to document query selector, so that's div. Okay, so now with that we are going to put posts dot inner HTML. So here let's bring in what's it called, our string literal, our template literal. So that'll be h3. So h3. So that would be for the topic. Then what about the content now? Then the content would be, that would be p. Okay, yes, then this will come like this. Model data dot topic. So that's what we're going to have. So then this one is going to be content So I think we are good to go. So we are going to call our view function here, view. So then And even before that, we need to wipe whatever is inside our inner HTML. Yes, so that we update it with the new data or the changed data. So let's call our model here too. Our model needs to be called here. Okay, so let's do that here. Okay, yes, model. Yeah, I think that's good. So we call our model here. So I believe there is no mistake here. Okay, so this is a typical MVC setup. This is our model. It sends a request to the server. Yes, that is the serve API. Then JSON is sent, then the JSON is resolved there, then the content of our JSON is gotten here, and then we assign it to a data, that is a variable rather, what is here. So then the next thing we do is to wipe the existing data on our user inside our user interface. Then we call our view, who is our view. Then the view will now update with the new data which is residing inside our model data. So let's try something out now to see how this works. Okay, sorry, node index. Yeah, so let's type something now. Let's type, okay, okay, so okay, okay, we have to do something here. So we need to call our model. We can call it globally, or we just use IFE, immediately invoked function expression, that is function. So we do that here now. So then we call our model. So I think this is going to okay, so now let me try and add something to this, that is break, then page out. Okay, then so that's okay. Okay, so let's do that now. So immediately it's there now, table is there now. So but something is wrong somewhere. There's something wrong here. Okay, then okay. pause, test content, let's go to post sent. So let's try to add something. Now I just type yes is cool, percent, but it's not okay. Let's see the database. Okay, let me check our database if something is yes. Yes, so what's going on? Okay, wow. So wow, so this is what we have. Yeah, so again. Yeah, so this is what we have here, and then our database information is there. This is the code. So I want to believe that we have been able to get one or two things about how to send an information from the client to the server and to save it inside the database and to get the content of the database to update the user interface. And that is just what we have just done in this tutorial. By the grace of God, in my next tutorial, in my next video, I'm going to show you how to update, how to delete an information from the database. So these are the things we're going to do. So today we have been able to create and to read from the database. So next video will be based on how to update and how to delete. So thank you for watching. God bless you.